Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, honorable all of the committee, presenter and participant. First of all, in this insightful session, allow me to thank for opportunity that has given to me, to us, to present the article with the title, How Do Teachers Teach in COVID-19 Pandemic? And the second time, let me introduce the speakers and the author team. The speakers today, I am Dr. Nofrion, MPD, and Professor Yenni Rozimela, MED, PhD. We are from Universitas Negeri Padang. And the author team are Dr. Randa Rahmaneli, MPD, Dr. Khairani, MPD, Sri Maria, MPD, and Reri Novio, MPD. Ladies and gentlemen, and now we are going to move on to the main presentation, and I hand it over to Professor Yenni Rozimela, MED, PhD.
Thank you, Dr. Nofrion. Good afternoon, everyone. We are very delighted to be here at this very important event, ICLS conference. I think the biggest association of lesson study in Indonesia. Well, I would like to present the results of our study. It's about how teachers teach in COVID-19 pandemic. I'm trying to make it as short as possible as the time given to us. Okay, let me share the screen. Well, I think you can read our abstract in your program book. So that let me go on with the PowerPoint. Okay, we are going to structure our presentation based on this outline: introduction, literature review, methods, results, and discussion, and then conclusion. Let me briefly talk about the introductions. And we know that the COVID pandemic is a bigger disaster that has spread all over the world. And we know that there is a big, I think the biggest issue now in the world. Okay. And you know that in fact, since September 2021, the case has reached 4 billion and more than 136 people died because of the pandemic. And this pandemic has resulted in a big change in instructional progress conducted by the teachers from face-to-face interaction, we call it as offline learning, to online learning. And this has big impact on how the teaching and learning process is conducted. However, you know that teachers and students are not well prepared to face this condition. Before the pandemic, the teachers were not familiar with online learning, and students as well. They were forced actually to face this condition. And of course, there are some consequences of this. The first one, the learning was interrupted. And there were confusions among teachers and students also. Parents face difficulties to help their children. Before the pandemic, usually the parents told that what they usually do was only checking the students' exercise and assignment. And that did not really help the students much in learning. However, during the pandemic, because of the fact that the students were at home, they didn't go to school, and the teacher had to help the children, and they were not used to this. And besides that, the students did not meet their friends as usual at school. So there was a kind of social isolation. The students felt lonely. They were not happy because they didn't meet their friends. Now, this study was conducted to unveil how the teaching and learning process was conducted during the pandemic. This article, as mentioned by Dr. Nofrion before, is entitled, How Do Teachers Teach in Pandemic? We read some relevant or related literature covering literature about online teaching and learning. And also, of course, we read some articles and book chapters about offline learning so that we could compare how online and offline learning and teaching was actually different. And we also read articles about geography, how geography lessons should be taught at schools and should be learned by the students because this is about geography. And of course, some information about COVID-19 pandemic and some data, how the data should be collected, okay? And then let's go to method. We have run out of time, okay, only 3 minutes to go. This research is descriptive qualitative research. It was carried out on August till November 22 in West Sumatra. 24 teachers and 12 schools with 12 principals were involved in the study. These schools represented regencies and municipalities in West Sumatra. We chose the schools based on the zones of COVID, and as we know that the COVID intensity is divided into zones like red zone, green zone, okay? Yes. So the schools represented the zones. Well, it is interesting to find out, and probably most of you could have imagined the results of this study. Most teachers use WhatsApp group to have interaction with the students. The use of WhatsApp group was merely to instruct the students, to give instruction, to tell what the students have to do, okay? A few teachers use a learning management system provided by the Department of Education and Religion in West Sumatra or in Indonesia as well. But this was very limited and underwent several problems because of internet connection. That is a very big issue actually. And then to give an opportunity for the students to meet teachers and their friends, the teachers use shifting schedule, okay? And then they shorten the meeting time. There was instruction with limited tasks, and the students were required to pick the tasks and textbooks to school. That's what the teachers could do during the pandemic, okay? Then teachers, based on the results of this research, then we found out, then there was an implication that the teachers need guidance and trainings about online teaching. So so far, they did it only based on their, what do you call that, the learn by themselves, okay? No trainings provided. And teachers faced various difficulties to do online teaching because parents could not help their children optimally at home. Some teachers complained about internet connection or network. Some teachers said that they didn't enough time to discuss with colleagues because they spend much time for preparation, helping the students. And maybe you have heard funny stories, for example, that some teachers had to call their parents to wake up the children. So teachers use most of the time for this kind of preparation. They didn't have time to discuss with their friends like what they did before during the pandemic. So the teachers felt that the teaching was not effective, not efficient at all. And the students had problems with internet connection and learning facilities at their homes. And maybe you know that sometimes in a family who has like 3 children and the handphone only 1. Okay, so it's very difficult for the students, for the parents, and also, of course, for the teachers to help the students. Most of the teachers were forced to conduct an instruction in a form of store, wait, and get. What do we mean by store, wait, and get? The teachers send the materials to the students through WhatsApp group and the task, and then they waited for the answers sent by the students, and they get the answers, they give it back, they score. That's all what the teachers could do. They couldn't do more than that, okay? So then LMS, which we suggest that we should have LMS, a learning management system, which can accommodate collaboration between students. It's badly needed. So we really need, students need to collaborate with their friends, with more interactions with teachers. So we need LMS that accommodates this. Zoom and Gmeet need stable and good quality internet connection. So even though these applications are available, if the connection is not good, then this kind of application will not work as what we expect. Okay, so in conclusion, we can state that during the pandemic, the teaching and learning process was conducted through WhatsApp group, Zoom, Gmeet, LMS, and Google Classroom, etc. But the internet connection was sometimes not good, and the facilities were very limited. WhatsApp was the most popular media, but the use was limited on store, wait and get, as I mentioned before. So we think that teachers need trainings and guidance about online teaching and supporting facilities. LMS is needed, and we really suggest that school or maybe Department of Education and Culture and Religion should support the school to build the LMS, then with application that accommodate collaborative learning and user-friendly, of course, so that everyone can use it very well. Well, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we can share with you, the result of our study about how teachers conduct the teaching and learning process during the pandemic. I hope this will be useful for us, all teachers and also lecturers. Thank you very much. Over to you, Dr. Nofrion.
I think that's all what can we present in this session. Thank you for watching and see you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.